Do you have high-interest credit card debt wreaking havoc on your monthly budget? Are you concerned about the cost of medical emergencies or sudden car repairs? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, you may want to join the over 500,000 people who have experienced the convenience of personal loans through Avant. Avant offers a fast and convenient online application process. For a limited time, Avant will give my listeners a $50 Amazon.com gift card after you are approved and make your first loan payment on time. To check your loan options, go to avantoffer.com and enter my promo code 100. That's AVANT offer.com to take your first step towards obtaining a personal loan. Credit cards are made by WebBank. Equal housing lender. Rates and terms are based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
Yeah, this girl is aggressive, too. I mean, like, men's rights matter. Don't say it enough.
Yeah, this is, if you had sex with this girl, you don't come, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's good. No, I'm good. We're good.
We're done now. This was fun.
No, I'm good. I came a while ago.
You drank it earlier this morning.
Did I come.
God-awful movies. Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from Christian cinema because fuck us. I'm your host, Noah Lugeons, and sitting to my immediate left is my good friend Heath Enwright. Heath, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. And quick announcement before we start. I've agreed to speak with James Lindsay on Twitter. He can't tweet directly at me. That's the rule, but I've decided, to allow a dialogue.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know.
It's good of you.
Oh, man.
A lot of inside joke there. And sitting 989 miles to my right is my bad friend Eli Bosnick. Eli, so good of you to rejoin us.
I've allowed Heath to speak to James Lindsay on Twitter.
The hole just keeps getting deeper. And sitting 7 states to my left is prolific podcaster and our first ever returning guest masochist, Thomas Smith. Thomas, I can't believe you came back for seconds, sir. I am impressed.
Sir. Slow clap right there.
Well, to answer your question from last week, I don't think I will watch parts 2 and 3. I don't think I don't know. I'm not that. So I have to ask you guys. So now this is my second one I've watched. Is it normal? I got severe genital itching. I got rashes. Do you guys have all this? My back's hurting. Like pieces of skin are just falling off of me.
Yeah. I already had all the things you're describing.
Chunks of hair coming out. Is that, you have all that? You've been living with this?
Yeah, that was already happening. So I think it's
this is all pre-podcasting, but yes, I have all of those things.
Oh. I thought it was just from watching 2 of these piece of shit movies because I've been meaning to go to my doctor. The symptoms are just he'll be like, oh, you watched some Pure Flix, didn't you? Yeah, no, I get this all the time.
You have AIDS.
I have to say, and I don't mean to downplay.
That's what he would say.
Where do you go from the AIDS joke? No, I don't want to downplay what you've been through, Thomas, but I feel confident in saying these may be the 2 most entertaining movies we've ever watched for this show.
Oh, man, I can only imagine. What do you guys have, some super body armor that you wear when you... I don't understand how you're surviving
this. When you're already used to the genital itching and the skin flaking, it's not as bad, I'm sure.
My question for you is, though, why are we recording another episode for this when we could just take jokes from the last one and stretch them out, do like a 9-minute previously in the last episode, and then,
I remember that first podcast we did. I know, just throw in the first episode. So you guys want to get tacos? Let's get some tacos.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, so I feel bad because I already asked Heath to prepare all this shit, and we already have kind of spilled the beans, so I have to say it anyway. Heath, tell us, what will we be breaking down today?
All right, we watched Revelation Road 2. The Sea of Glass and Fire.
And the internet did not want me to watch this movie.
Yeah, and I feel like this was a kind of a bullshit subtitle because it's actually more like a creak, a broken window, and some sparks, but whatever. So this is the second leg of a trilogy that continues telling the story that did not happen in part 1 from last week. So, this was Nothing Happened to, the middle part of the script. Very exciting.
And Eli, how bad was this movie?
Well, if you thought to yourself, man, when David R. White's mom left him alone and he got his hands on the Bourne Identity, did he also get his hands on season 1 of Homeland? The answer is yes. Yes, he did. Because in this, he's gonna cover his face, and according to David R. White, and this is his Twitter, not mine, that makes me an Arab.
Whoa, Jesus.
Not actually his Twitter, but we're
a
not
citation
surprised.
needed.
We're not surprised, right? We're not like, oh, like if that was real, we wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, no way, David R. White.
Okay.
His YouTube channel is called The White Path. Come on. Or The White Way. It's something like that.
No, I have to say, though, I am quite relieved by the conversation we've had up to this point, because I was convinced that, like large chunks were missing out of my copy, like when you only have the trial version of Pure Flix, you don't get the parts of the movie where shit happened, but nothing did happen in this movie, correct?
No.
I don't have any notes on things happening.
Yeah, you were like sitting back. Remember when you were at the arcade and your parents didn't give you any money, or maybe this was just me, and you would pretend.
Yes.
You would pretend like you were playing the preview of the game. Was that you? You were like, this is kind of a movie. If I pretend, if I squint, if I make up parts myself, like you have all these other characters we don't even know about that you made up.
Thomas, that's the saddest short story I've ever heard.
I just real quick, throw it out, Thomas. What year were you born?
1986.
Yeah, see, that's why, Eli.
There
We
you
all
go.
did that back then. In my day, we used to pretend we was playing video games and we liked it.
And then they invented the quarter, and it sort of just spiraled out of control from there.
Quarter, that would buy you the machine. What are you, crazy?
Oh, and I should mention, because apparently we didn't last week, Sting is in this movie.
Yeah!
Not Sting as in like
Not
the
the
famous
singer.
person named Sting who's been using that name since the 70s, but Sting as in the wrestler with the Brandon Lee fetish.
How funny is it that, how many, I can't count. Is it 4 of us? Something like that. 4 of us, white dudes, have no interest in wrestling. It's amazing. We're the only 4 white dudes of around this age. We don't give it, I'm pretty sure none of us give a shit about pro wrestling.
Oh, Thomas, that's because we all have all our teeth.
Oh, okay.
Speak for yourself there, sir.
Well, I did before I started watching these films.
There's one person here that will never be making dental hygiene jokes, and that's yours truly.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Can't hear it on the mic. It's fine. You sound bald, though. Has anyone ever told you you sound bald?
Yeah.
Well, we spent a whole fucking episode last week waiting for this story to get started, and we've already kind of admitted that it isn't going to start this week. So with the suspense fully deflated, we might as well pause for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll break down all the flashbacks and failure to move the story in any particular direction. That is Revelation Road 2, Sea of Glass and Fire.
I got a Facebook message from John this week urging us to spruce up our Patreon page. He wanted to give, but he pointed out we don't have any goals, and we don't even thank our patrons by name on this show like Noah does on Scathing Atheist. And he's right. Now, unfortunately, with 608 patrons at this point, it's not like Noah's gonna be able to thank everyone in one long, breathless list like he does on Scathing.
Ah, ye of little faith. Bridget, Philip, George, Alex, Randall, James, Jordan, Aaron, the Astounds, Edward, Doug, Jeffrey, Matt, Martin, Angela, Ben, Eli, Sammy, Prescott, David, Eric,
I
Mick,
feel like
Mark,
this is
Caleb,
gonna
Liz,
take
Jason,
a while.
Kevin, Jonathan, Joseph,
Yeah,
Lawrence, John,
might
Debbie,
take
Kelly,
a minute.
Patrick, Kai,
You wanna
Wade,
get
Hertz,
like a
Savin, Emily,
coffee,
Nicholas, Anthony,
or-
Donovan, Isaac, Green,
Yeah, I
Matt,
mean,
Heather,
or
Casey,
we could just
Martino, Rick, Brooks,
tell
Matt,
everybody
Elvis,
about
Aubrey,
the
Marshall,
new
Marcus,
goals
Rick,
and
Lloyd,
bonuses
Robert,
on the
Barber,
Patreon page, I guess.
Twix,
We got
Sandra, Trev,
got some
Glenn,
time.
Owen,
Sure.
Psycho,
So the
Happy,
first
Jeff,
one we
Thomas,
wanted to
Douglas,
tell you
Steve,
about was a
Fat
new
Dan,
goal
Anna,
and
David,
a new
Mitchell,
bonus.
Nate,
After
Brian,
all the
Rose,
positive
Rachel,
feedback
Jack,
we got from the
Brandon,
exclusive
Rex,
Batman
Christine,
vs.
Legs,
Superman
Soren,
episode, we figured out that if we can reach
Nicole,
about
Bondo,
$1,000 an episode on Patreon, we'll have time to record an exclusive Patreon-only non-Christian movie review every month. We also want to sweeten the pot with a few new bonuses. So we're working with a friend to make the Christian movie bingo a reality, and once we do, we'll be sending a set to everybody who donates $5 or more per episode so they can play along at home.
Some restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Did you just do the pharmacy commercial thing?
Yeah, Noah said I should do it as a legal thing.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Finally, you'll notice we've added a $10 Patreon goal on the website, and while we know that's a ton of money for some of you, it's going to be worth it. If you sign up for $10 on Patreon, which is less than a cup of coffee, by the way.
No, it's not.
Oh, I live in Manhattan.
Sorry, go on.
Right, less than a cup of coffee in Manhattan. Now, for our 1-year anniversary, we will be doing a live show in New York City of the most godly of god-awful movies, the big dog itself, the causer of so many childhood nightmares, The Passion of the Christ. Anyway, $10 patrons will not only get VIP seating to that show for free, as well as a swag bag and other cool stuff, but we're going to do a VIP meet and greet before the show so you can hang out with us and fuck Heath if you want to.
I mean, at this point, sure, yeah.
Dude, did you get the video I sent you?
Yeah, man, just, the thing is, don't text me the porn, just email. Just email.
Right. Oh, sorry, because then, phone, I get it. Still going.
He almost has to be done at this point.
Yeah, I understand why Lucinda puts up with him now. I think he breathes through his hair.
Sharon, Maureen, Brandon, Alicia, Haley, Wilco, Duncan, Nick, Techie, Renee, Elizabeth, Lynn, and Simon.
Oh, I think you did. Well, no. You forgot Gretchen. Fuck!
And we're back for the breakdown, and this movie's VO is going to open over all the non-shark parts of the Planet Earth promo on BBC. For some fucking reason.
With the voiceover from the Lucky Charm Leprechaun's wife.
Yes!
Oh, man. My take on that was like, okay, they wanted that same guy, but he was in his refractory period from the last VO. He was like, oh, sorry, I just came from that intro when I was getting so into the revelation, and so I can't do it. Sorry, here's my wife. Do it. She can do it.
My first note was that the VO chick will fuck you if you smell like sage and tell her you have a unique bond with fish. I know this woman. I've met this woman at a lot of hippie gatherings.
I just wrote down, I'll buy your green soap. Just start the movie. Nobody fucking cares.
My favorite thing is, like you mentioned with the Planet Earth, these montages. This is such an insight into Christian filmmaking. They're like, well, she's talking about the world. Will people know what the world is? Oh, I don't know. We better put like some of the world
of Earth down there.
Will they remember? Like, okay, let's put some nature and like there's people on Earth.
Literally iTunes screensavers.
Yes.
Literally not like, iTunes, but like literally the shot iTunes screensavers.
They're like, guys, brainstorm things that are on Earth. Come on. Shit. There's like animals, stuff like that.
And I love too, I think that's just there to distract us from the message, which is all this evil shit will eventually happen unless it doesn't because of Jesus, and that'll mean we're right too.
Yeah. And my music note for this part was Podsafe Atlantis by Donovan.
I wrote, this woman did not make it past the first auditions for Lord of the Rings. Like, the casting director didn't send the tape in. He was just like, thank you.
She's like, can I play a female dwarf or something? Come on.
No, absolutely.
Those are hideous. Sorry, that's why I made that joke.
And now we're going to get the first, in case you didn't see the first movie scene, and there will be many, and that one's going to open on a middle-aged blonde lady that's scared of weather. Everyone in this movie, in this trilogy so far, has been scared of weather. But
to be fair, she does appear to live in a haunted Indian burial ground.
I just wrote, I wonder if Sydney likes to play games. Exactly the start of Scream.
So apparently this is Eric Roberts' house. That's his wife and sister and everything. So he just gets home from a long day of sheriffing to come in and tell him about the first movie.
Right? And see, Thomas, you were right. Eric Roberts does live in a terrifying sex dungeon. He's got the bones of cows on his house.
Also, by the way, Eric Roberts, did he not age like 45 years since part one, which came out like 3 months before this one?
Right.
I have a feeling he watched the dailies and it was like opening the Ark of the Covenant a little bit. The guy appears behind him. You chose poorly.
I have a feeling that when the daughter walked into the room that she just uglied up everybody by 45 years.
She sure did. The daughter, Eric Roberts' daughter, I wrote in my notes, it's nice that this family adopted a squirrel. Oh, no, that's his daughter.
She looks like a fucking Wii avatar, but a human.
She looks like 4chan put together a GoFundMe to make a Powerpuff Girl fuck doll out of meat.
Damn it, I was going to use that joke.
Yeah, I had that exact wording written down. So then, the thing, if anyone was wondering who the intended audience of this film is, it's the fucking sheriff's sister. Now, I don't know if this is because of a personal experience or what, but I think they should win the fucking Academy Award for casting, if that exists. I don't think it does. But if it did, they should win that just for this actress. His stuck-up religious sister is exactly perfect for the horrible religious aunt who everyone has that, like, her presence just makes you want to stab yourself in the fucking eye with a crucifix. Every look she gives in every scene is like, oh, I'm not judging you at all. I'm definitely not judging you. I'll be here with my little cross, wearing my little cross, and just, you smoke your cigarette. Oh, that's fine. I'm not judging you. Fuck you. God, I hate this woman.
Apparently Aunt Kathy needs a movie too, yes.
Oh, God. But this is the movie that says, oh, that's the good character. Like, this is, she's awesome. Yeah. You want to be this woman.
Yeah. So, and so, like, Eric Roberts has had an eventful day, movie one. So that's, I guess, the point of this whole scene is so that he can tell them the story of the last movie. A movie that has last time on this movie at the beginning of it.
Yeah. He's telling this ridiculous story, and he's like, yeah, it was crazy. I believe the script of Revelation Road 1 said it best, and they wrote the following. Really?
He even opens it up with, he's like, I'll start at the beginning, which will allow us to fill some shit in with flashback stuff, and we won't have to do 90 minutes.
Are they pretending like there's anybody watching this who didn't watch part 1?
Yeah, right.
No,
that's what I wrote.
All 4 of us watching this watched part 1, guys.
As hard as this movie is to watch, I mean, you have to want to watch this fucking movie. You didn't accidentally happen upon this. This isn't on Netflix. You can't rent this fucking movie through Amazon, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, this movie was in the same suitcase as The Day the Clown Cried.
So, and they show these flashbacks, but I think the editor's instructions were like, yeah, just grab any lines from any part in the movie.
Of the last one, yes. And of course, we have to place this in time. So when he goes to eat, his sister, the old lady, smacks him one time for not saying grace before. And, I guess that's so that we know rapture hasn't happened yet. Otherwise, this old lady would be in heaven where she belongs.
And again, we as an audience are supposed to be like, good, yeah, hit people and stop them from eating.
Yes, exactly. You are the hero of this film. And then, of course, after he gets done telling the story of part 1, bright lights appear out the window, and the old lady just immediately starts smiling. She knows. She knows Jesus lights when she
I wrote in my
sees
notes,
someone.
oh, thank God she's getting raptured because she looks like Caitlyn Jenner.
And by the way, Christian people must be super disappointed all the time about light sources. It does not work out for them on a regular basis.
Oh, fuck, that was just a truck turning. He must have had his brights on.
You flip a light on in the room where that woman is, she just starts to smile and look skyward. No, Aunt Kathy, no.
Yeah. And what is it? Is it part of the process to put your hands on your face? She's like touching her cheeks and like doing all this weird, is that some Jesus-y prep that I don't know about?
I'm sure it is.
She looks like a face hugger's going to burst out of her chest. But sadly, instead, she just turns into a power pellet.
Yeah, God made her sweat for a second, made her sit down and think, fuck, I didn't get took, but then she did. And then we get the credit proper.
Right. Well, before that happens, I just want to point out, as her soul is flying out of the room, it can't quite find its way out at first. I thought we were going to get a Tinkerbell is stuck in the curtains scene where they were like, oh, God, get a broom and just get it towards a window. Just get Aunt Kathy's soul towards a window.
Coming out with a little cup to try to try. Yeah, that would be great. That would have been awesome.
I thought for a second, it faked me out. I thought she wasn't going to get raptured, and then I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. The lesson is going to be, don't be a horrible, judgmental, religious bitch.
But no.
Nope, she gets raptured. She's the good guy. She's the good guy.
Yes, just a quick reminder to the target audience here that don't worry, you won't have to be here when things get all just random and nothing happening-y, but there's sort of some smoke in the horizon, sort of. So we get the credits, and again, I want to point out, Sting is in this movie. People are really pissed that we didn't know that. I got so many fucking, like, we've had factual errors in the show and shit like that, and they don't get anywhere near the kind of response we got for not recognizing Sting.
To be fair, we didn't recognize him because a bunch of people weren't screaming at him while he pretended to hit another guy with a chair in a dance fight.
Well, did you find out because that one person sent you him showing his tits on the internet? Is that how you found out? Don't you have that one person that shows you all the actors? That
Yeah. No.
That person is a saint.
Yeah, don't you dare badmouth Jamie.
You know what?
On
They
this
probably
show.
didn't send you it because they got raptured. God was like, "That is saintly behavior." Right
As
there.
well they should have. If any of our listeners deserves to go to heaven, it's the one who alleviates each and every one of these movies with titties.
So now we're going to rejoin our hero Josh, who you'll recall we left under siege at Dinesh D'Souza's hotel, and apparently he's spending his time recalling scenes from the Bourne trilogy.
Really quick, by the way, this character's name is actually Dinesh. The character's name. Is it
really?
Is Dinesh. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Wow.
Oh, let's cut to an interstitial so I can jerk off to that for just 4 or 5 hours. You guys got a minute? Because it's the only brown guy they know. That's why it's Dinesh. Because they all sat around the writer's table and they were like, come on, guys. Like,
We know one brown guy. So
no, Haji's already been put down. We're not doing Haji.
not Barack either.
No.
We don't want to lose great Aunt Kathy.
Who's the one who doesn't like Hillary? The one who's in jail. I feel like it's Kremchesh? Is it Sog Paneer?
Do you feel like they called this actor Dinesh, even though he's like, guys, that's not my name? They're like, no, that's
We're not all named Dinesh, guys. Come on.
It's a nickname. It's a nickname. That's your nickname.
So what the action we're getting during this whole, like, he's still sitting out there with his rifle is Josh, David A.R. White in the room, like, flashing back to his Jason Bourne time with the CIA, but it's super low budget.
Yes, this is someone locked me and Heath in someone's garage that we didn't know, and we're like, reenact the scene where Wolverine has flashbacks from X-Men 1 in less than 20 minutes. We'd be like, okay, this looks like the trap from Ghostbusters. Put this on his face. Confidence could be a shot, right? Hey, a scuba suit. Let's put him in a scuba suit. Wasn't Jason Bourne in a scuba suit in that movie?
Yeah, let's get our team of one scientist.
Yes. And inject him with some
Gatorade.
Nerf darts, I guess. Yeah.
Give him the maximum dose.
You're asking me to murder him.
Give him the maximum dose of science juice.
The syringe might as well make a slide whistle noise when you pull it back.
It was so bad.
It's got superpowers now. Roger Rabbit could be the doctor in the scene. It would have looked the same.
I also
Playing
loved
Operation the board game. It would have looked the same.
you could hear in the background, you could hear them, like, the repeating echoes of, you believe nothing, you believe nothing. So apparently the CIA had to, like, Jesus him out or whatever.
Well, and how is he having a flashback of when he was totally passed the fuck out? Like, and not conscious.
I don't know, the same way that Eric Roberts had a flashback to the biker on the other end of a walkie-talkie telling him there should be no witnesses.
when he was on neither side of that
When
conversation.
Eric Roberts had a flashback to his slap fight from the waiter with TGI Fridays. That's how.
And speaking of the biker gang, next we move to them. And apparently we learn here that the Boz can flash back too, damn it.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, back in the day, he ran a foundry with Kirk Cameron, but the government seized it or something. I don't know.
I guess that must have been what happened.
So at this point, the director thought, what subtle way could we maybe show that the Boz used to not be evil? Oh, I know. How about a fucking giant crucifix on the wife's neck as the absolute immediate focus of the flashback? That fucking crucifix is so large. I'm pretty sure there was an actual dude on it, like being crucified. He's like, yeah, it's so big. We can't not have a real guy on there. Otherwise it's not going to look right.
The Pope would have looked at that and been like, it's a little much. And by the way, credit to Thomas, you predicted that when he touched his shirt, there would be a crucifix under there, and indeed, this is the first sight we get of what I can only assume topped the Basilica at Rome before they used it for this movie.
Her crucifix is from the Flava Flav collection.
Clearly. And the wife looks like somebody tried to clone Megan Fox, but they didn't try that hard. They weren't really all that into it. Like, close enough.
It's the
Close
White
enough.
House science fair of I'm just here to meet Barack Obama, okay? She looks kinda.
So
It's got a vagina.
And so they have to show that he was, like, good, but he was still badass. So they show him smashing his engagement ring for her out of a rock? What the fuck was that?
You got it from mortar.
What was that? Does anyone have any idea what that was?
No.
All right, then.
He does, however, he smashes open a rock. It's inside. I think we're supposed to assume he forged it, that was a mold he poured in, and then he smashes open the rock.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But he presents it to her by saying, I want you to be my queen.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Andrea Logan White is over here, and I guess we're now officially announcing that she's the daughter of these two people that are getting engaged when she's like 31.
Yeah, everyone is equal ages, but that's fine.
Yes.
I've got a music note for this scene. It was, what were you guys listening to this? I was just doodling some chords. I didn't even realize anyone was in here. Are you okay? Okay, well, cool.
This is my first time with Mario music. I'm not really that good yet. And thus endeth the flashback, so that we can learn that they're going to keep riding until it's done. That's an actual line. We're going to keep riding until it's done.
And I wrote in my notes, not the Eli Bosnick story.
Until I'm done. But.
And as they drive away, he turns to the guy and he goes, shoot anyone that can't keep up. Who can't keep up? They're on motorcycles. It's not the Trail of fucking Tears.
Like, I got a cramp in my motorcycle, guys. Guys, my motorcycle's getting a cramp.
Shit, guys, I only have a quarter tank. Please don't shoot me if there's not.
That was the most evil McBad guy thing to say ever.
I guess.
And at this point, the Boz is wearing spike earrings. They might as well be horseshoe magnets. They're ridiculous.
And then we go back to David A.R. White trying to, people are trying to sneak around crazy Dinesh D'Souza as he falls asleep, but he's not having that, I guess.
Just ignore the gun in the sleeping man's lap who's holding you hostage and hit him in the face with any object. Literally any object.
Right.
Or just leave. Like he's sleeping. What is it?
Also, by the way, he doesn't have like a manual credit card swiper or like a pen and paper.
Okay,
you could just write
Fuck,
it.
I was going to say
Nothing?
Nothing. Apparently.
Oh my god. Most improbable plot device ever. Right. Every single business, does the phone line never go out there and bumfuck wherever you are? Of course you would have a card imprint thingy to keep someone's information.
Like, your power's never gone out before?
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna keep you here until you all grow some money or like make some...
Is that just what he does every time the power goes out? Yeah, it's kind of weird. And especially now, it's an especially weird plot vehicle since the way they eventually get David A.R. White out of this is that he just gets in his car and leaves.
Yeah, well, wait. First, David R. White, because it's like, there's a moment where this couple tries to leave and he's like, no, I will shoot you with this hunting rifle with a scope on it. And then David R. White walks out in a teal woman's blouse.
And tries to look badass immediately. The first time we see the teal blouse is while he's trying to look badass. Yes.
That is something you buy for an aunt in a catalog who you dislike.
Just shy of the poofy shirt, yes.
His blouse is everything.
Also, weird coincidence. He drives a Buick Skylark from the 60s and he's wearing like a mint green metallic shirt.
Oh, no.
And he skids out because he doesn't have pause traction.
Clearly,
nice.
yes. But before he can skid out, he has to like convince Dinesh not to shoot anybody, and he does it by talking about the importance of family. That's like literally the way he heroes his way out of this situation, is to remind Dinesh that, family matters.
It's just that scene from American Dad where he's like, don't you do it. Don't you get in that car. Don't you start that car. Don't you drive away. And Dinesh D'Souza the whole time is like, you think I won't murder a man over $49.99 because he had a coupon?
Clearly I will. I'm brown. And of course, all of this is leading up to the big chase scene because the bikers are coming this whole time.
Hold on though. You missed that Jennifer Lopez jumps in the car.
Yes.
And this actress jumps in his car as though she's saying like, okay, I'm pretty sure he didn't just see me get in the passenger seat. She's sitting there like, if I don't move, the T-Rex can't see me sitting in the fucking She never makes eye contact, never says anything. She just gets in there and just like looks straight ahead like, do you see me?
She gets in the car the way I go up for a fourth time to the buffet.
Yeah.
just like, oh, bonjour, monsieur. Dude, you're the same guy. You're wearing a shirt. I can see what you don't take your jacket off. I know. Just take the chicken wings and go, sir.
So yeah, this is Bill's wife, by the way, from the first movie. Her husband got raptured, but she didn't. So then they jump in the car and they start driving around, and this is the low budget, we can't really afford to fuck this car up version of a chase scene. So he's like, you see him in the car and he's going, hold on, but then you see the car and it's not even like swerving or anything.
Right.
It's
and
just
I want to
driving.
point out, we all have the same note, which is, you are being chased by motorcycles in a car. The solution to this problem is brakes.
Yes! It's that easy.
Fly right over you. Come on.
I have a Toyota. I have never been afraid of a motorcycle. And if you're thinking, hey, will this got to ultimate absurdity in a motorcycle versus car game of chicken later in the movie? You're damn right it will.
Teaser, baby, teaser.
Hit the brakes and knock over the people on the motorized bicycles.
That would have done the fucking trick. But no, he has to outrun them. At least until he comes across the cops with their town closed sign.
Yeah, a giant town, like without the banner, are people going to ram the police barricade? What? Do they need to know why the police are there?
And the cop, by the way, is Jim Dugan from The Mask. I mean, it's not really Jim Dugan from The Mask, but it looks a whole fuck of a lot like Jim Dugan.
I had young Ben Stein, the cop, is about as intimidating. He's about as intimidating as Ben Stein. Like, just
This guy could not be less intimidating. It's fucking hilarious.
It's the greatest thing. He's acting like the biggest, like he's your friend's dad trying to act like a badass. It's so
Right.
great.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, he stops the motorcyclist, but they let David A.R. White through, and so that they can have a "that boy belongs to me" standoff between the two of them on either side of the cop cars.
Also, this is just a tiny, tiny moment, but it's really fantastic. When they pan over to the bikers before they're about to have their screaming at the police with guns conversation, one of them is wearing one of those fake pseudoscience, you can work out with less oxygen to get stronger masks. And we're supposed to think that's biker equipment. Yeah. There's a full, 30-second shot of this guy, and he's very clearly wearing one of those, if you reduce the oxygen to your brain, you can lift more masks. Someone brought that from home, and they were like, this looks cool, right? And they were like, fuck yeah, man, Max.
That's what bikers wear. Yeah, exactly. But of course, according to the boss, this ain't over, and it would have been nice if it had been, but it wasn't. He was right. Apparently, we've got a whole goddamn movie to go.
And he lets out a primal scream at the police with rifles. You gotta love the white privilege here. and also,
they just shoot the black biker.
Yeah, the black biker was turned around, not even paying attention. He had a gun.
And also, he starts to draw his gun. It's illegal to sort of draw a gun on cops too, right? You can't sort of do that, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of primal grunting from the boss. I think, like I said earlier, maybe someone just forgot to write half his script, or maybe they lost half his script and well, does it matter? We'll just do stuff. Yeah, whatever. Just grunt here.
This movie has the greatest primal scream in the history of time, in the middle of the greatest scene in the history of time.
Yes, it does.
We're not there yet.
No, we're not, but oh my God, I watched this scene 11 times. I'm dragging in strangers off the street saying, oh my God, you've got to see this. It's so good. Anyway, but yes, we're not there. So then we get a little time with Bill's wife before she completely disappears from this script. The fuck was she doing? And of course, now she has to flashback. This minor character that's going to be in the movie for 8 minutes gets a goddamn flashback to the last movie. Again, who the fuck is watching this one that didn't see the first movie?
Right, and she describes, remember when she got electric shocked and we thought it was funny because of how stupid that is? God's exception to turn everyone into an electric fence right before the rapture.
Yeah.
It turns out that electric shock was made of endless love.
Endless love. That's
I wrote
what
my
she
notes.
says.
I've been there. I remember a time before drugs. It's okay, now you choke me.
Yeah, she even says but it didn't hurt. Doesn't she? So why did you recoil in absolute agony in movie 1? Was it because you hadn't written the script for movie 2 or what? What is it? Or you just didn't keep track maybe?
I'm thinking it may have been that. Anyway, so yeah, but I'm thinking as she's saying it was Jesus, he was right. He said you have to accept him in your heart and blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm not getting any ass. I should have just left her at the hotel. Shit. I knew Bill was out of the picture. I knew she liked white meat, but
This is on me. This is on me.
Yeah, he's like trying to be subtle, like, wow, in this post-apocalyptic world, gas sure is expensive. Let me tell ya. Got any,
God, what's that thing that the bikers have on the back of their bikes? It's like gas, grass, or what is
something?
it?
What's that third thing? Yeah.
Do you remember Jennifer Lopez after the scene when she gets beat up by her husband? She looks like beat up Jennifer Lopez. Like listen, I'm sure a lot of our listeners like me, and they've paused that scene and rewatched it over and over again. And so I really feel like I've internalized that.
Shit. So then we move back over to the boss, and apparently he wants to, this is so good, he wants to form a perimeter around town with one person on every, and I'm like, how many fucking roads could there be out of this little shithole town? There can't possibly be 4 highways leading out of this place, but he needs a guy on every fucking exit, which leads to a fight with Sting.
Yes. Who at this point I still didn't know was Sting, so he was good universe Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
But I do need to point out he has a necklace made of, and someone tweeted this at me and I was like, full of shit. No, it's true. He has a necklace made of soda can tabs and alligator clips.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
It's so badass.
But of course, before we can get to the fight proper, where I guess they're going to fight over who gets the hammer, I guess, we have to get another flashback. And I honestly couldn't tell if this was supposed to be Andrea Logan White's flashback or Sting's flashback.
Or the boss. It could have been any of them. It's unclear.
Yeah, right.
It's like a group flashback.
They just all got together. You guys remember that time?
Everyone except for Sting.
Right. So
he's just standing there, guys.
Guys.
Are we going to fight over the speaking stick? But yeah. So this is where we learned that apparently they used to be a Christian biker gang that only did good biker gang stuff.
Right. Yeah. You know all the legitimate business you use biker gangs for?
Right.
Yes, right.
It's I had that same note. We're only going to do legitimate outlaw biker gang business now, okay?
Yeah, right.
Legitimate. Guys, this is the classic tale of your totally legitimate Christian biker gang turned into evil, demonic outlaw biker gang. The system failed them, really. I mean, it just happens
clearly
all the time.
All right, brothers, now we're going to do some trust falls. This could not be a less convincing anything.
We've gone legit. We sell food buckets for the end times now.
Right.
Incorporating motorcycles.
If anybody asks.
We also sell Amway.
Now, you might say, brother, that you could never get a stain of grease this solid out of your driveway, but hey, facial tattoo guy, come over here and scrub this with me.
So
Face tattoo. Nature's way of telling you I'm a rapist.
Well, or if you ask Bill O'Reilly, nature's way of telling you I'm black, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, what we're learning here is that, again, I guess reinforcing the fact that the boss's wife had him all straightened out with Jesus, and then the flashback ends so that they can have a hug fight. They start off with a hug fight.
Well, wait. Before we end the flashback, we should point out that Andrea Loganberry, White Power.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I jumped way ahead, didn't I?
She has brought an Alfie doll in a do-rag, it appears, and he wants to join the biker gang. And basically, he says, do you vouch for this man? And she's like, I do. He's going to betray and kill mom. And he's like, sure is. And then the
Yes.
Will you betray us? Yes. But like wait, is this later in the movie or earlier in the movie? Have I done that yet?
Where are we, guys?
Also, and look, there's nothing wrong with having a lisp or an affectation in your voice, but maybe this character shouldn't have the single gayest voice I have ever heard in the biker boyfriend of hers is basically like, oh yeah, I'm ready to join the gang, honey. I'm ready to rumble.
Once again, it's the assless chaps problem. They don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Like gay people are scary to them, bikers are scary to them. It's all the same shit.
This guy's great. He already had a pair.
I was going to say, the casting call was like, does anyone have any of these assless chaps? They look so bad. Oh yeah, we all got them. And there's just a bunch of gay guys.
You're in. Yeah. Okay, so then we get this phenomenally stupid fight between the Boz and Sting.
And apparently, you just have to touch the hammer to become the leader of the gang. That's the rule. So he just puts it down. You have to touch it. And I felt like it should have been more like quick moves than like a goat fight, but they goat fight.
Right.
We got goat
also,
fight.
Fun fact, if you turn off the screen at this point, you can jerk off to this kind of the part of the movie.
I can jerk off to anything if you turn off the screen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't need to turn off the screen.
This is much more of my patented fighting technique, which is, okay,
Yes.
you get to be winning. Okay,
Yes.
now my turn to win. And then the boss finishes the fight with a Street Fighter fucking punch sound that it may have even had like a visual red thing. Yeah. That knocks a probably 350-pound man up into the air.
into the air, despite he's punching down.
Right, into a creek, and then Sting has like not a mark on his face. So you've knocked a 2,000-pound man in the air with your fist, and it's like, oh man, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, crazy billionaire money. I remake this movie so that the final punch of the fight is actually the Boz doing Chun-Li's helicopter kick from Street Fighter. Like in the outfit too.
I would pay billions for that. Yeah. So, but he won, so he gets to keep the hammer. And I guess this was just a fight to whoever got like knocked in the creek first, but Sting was not aware of that.
Creek is out. Creek's out,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Okay, bikers, listen up. Creek is out.
No, cause my necklace, which I got, gives me lava powers, so I'm not dead. I'm not dead.
Okay, hold on. The boundaries are the creek and the garbage cans over there. Okay,
I'm going to put my shoe. I'm going to put my shoe over
my
here.
dad said we can't touch the garbage cans.
No, you can touch them, but you can't go.
You can't go past them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's pretty much it. But again, Sting was unclear on the rules, so he got up, so Boz shot him to death.
Right.
For growling after a creek timeout. There was a creek timeout and he growled, he got shot.
This is something that happens so often in this movie where someone's like, how should I sneak up on this guy? Oh, I know. And then they turn around and get him. Like, what reality do you live in where that's the good way to sneak up on someone? To yell at them like, charge!
Yeah, like take a cue from the old lady in the first scene. I mean, she was great at this shit. You didn't hear her screaming.
But after he shoots him, everyone in the group looks appalled that there would be a murder.
Yeah.
They all look terrified. There could be someone murdered on this podcast with less surprise and fear than this horrible post-apocalyptic biker
after he
gang.
just gave the order to shoot anyone who lags slightly behind.
Right.
They already killed one biker who was like, dude, I just have to piss. No, I just have to piss. No, you're dead.
Should have gone in the fucking pants. So now we get back to Josh, who is pulling up at the sheriff's station trying to get rid of Bill's wife. Now it's clear that he's not getting any ass from her. And I think this is just so that we can milk a little bit more Eric Roberts' contract out of this movie. I don't know.
And apparently everyone in this town believed in Jesus except for the police.
None of the cops. Well, but he says there's like 22 people missing. I'm like, wow, that was a sinful fucking town you had going there.
Yeah, and one of them's like, well, I don't get it. I'm a Christian, but I'm still here. Okay, I have one child porn video, but one. Come on, he's not going to not let me into heaven for one child porn video. Come on, man, I'm a Christian.
But as we learn from Bill's wife as she walks by, it's not about how many child porn videos you have. It's about whether you said the right magic forgiveness Jesus words.
Whether you came. Oh, I was okay.
I like Heath's better, but I don't want to say why.
And of course, this is where we have to meet Beth again, the teenager, grown-up teenager from the first movie, who just rushes into this scene and starts grinding against David A.R. White's hip and continues to do so for the remainder of the scene.
Yeah, this girl is aggressive, too. I mean, like, men's rights matter. Don't say it enough.
Yeah, this is, if you had sex with this girl, you don't come, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's good. No, I'm good. We're good.
We're done now. This was fun.
No, I'm good. I came a while ago.
You did it earlier this morning.
Did I
It's
count.
cool.
And of course she's here to remind everybody that it was definitely God that did this and took him up to heaven, because she met, it's always Jesus in Philadelphia in the last movie. and David A.R. White goes, God, you mean like the Bible? What do they call it? The rapture? Those are both actual lines from this movie. You mean like the Bible, and what do they call it? ... The rapture.
Right. Yeah. I wrote in my notes, I remember him. He's the boy, becomes a wizard, Hagrid. I think I skimmed it.
Yeah, that's their thing for people who aren't Christians is like, oh, what's the Biblu?
Oh, I speak Spanish. This book says library.
But of course, now they want David A.R. White to stick around because he's such a ninja badass, but he has to go home because his family needs him. But damn it, it's too dangerous out there. So the cop just hands him a gun.
Right.
He just says, here, well, you'll need this out there, and hands him a fucking loaded gun. Here, murder people with this if you have to. Right. It's mine.
Here, have my gun. I'm a cop. What if the power had come back on 2 days later? What if it was just a major power outage, and 2 days later the power came on and everyone came back and they were like, yeah, man, we all were playing this big game of hide and seek. And he was like, fuck, I gave some guy my gun.
Yeah, right.
What
he's
do we know about that guy? He's a murderer.
Yeah, he's a triple murderer and we don't know anything about his past or criminal record, so I gave him a gun. What?
Yeah, here, take my gun. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure I can do that. I think I can do that.
I don't want to look in the book. The book's on the shelf, top shelf.
I'm sheriff, right? Sheriff is like king of the cops, right? I just get to do whatever rules I want. That's how it works, right?
I can't believe he didn't deputize him in this scene. I can't believe they missed that. Okay.
I can't believe when the gun fired, it didn't come out with a little flag that said it was nice to fuck Angelina Jolie and it's not nice to not be able to fuck her anymore. That's what I can't believe.
Well, you just spoiled that for everybody who thought that was going to happen. But yeah, that's fine, I guess. So now, as if it wasn't insane enough that the cop just handed him a gun because it's too dangerous to go alone, the teenage girl says, no, I'm going to go with you.
This is my favorite thing in maybe this whole movie. Sorry if I don't want to skip ahead for the plot, but yeah, she says, I'm going with you. He says, no, under no circumstances. There is no chance I am taking you with me. And then she has his keys.
Yeah, she stole them.
And it's just like, what can you do?
Now you gotta take her with you.
That's the law. The cop's like, yeah, I'm sorry. That's the law. If she has your keys. She goes with them. In front of the cops.
Right.
Like, what world is this?
Stole your watch. Now you have to put your wrist inside of me. Those are the rules. Let's go on a road trip. Perfect.
Oh,
I'm 16.
Steal Heath's watch. Sorry, guys. I'm writing some notes for a different thing.
Now that he has a sidekick, I guess he can leave, so he does. And if you recall, he was a door-to-door bulletproof vest salesman in the first movie, so he gives her a bulletproof vest too.
This is fucking amazing because he goes, here, take this bulletproof vest. And she's like, I don't want it. It's
gross.
And he's like, it'll save your life. And she's like, it won't save my life. There's literally a moment where she goes, no, it won't. And he's like, what? And she's like, sorry, foreshadowing.
Also, and I can't believe, honestly, that I haven't pointed this out already. And this is a brand new one for me. I've never watched a movie where I felt like I needed to make fun of the stereo mixing. Like, was this just, did anybody else, did you guys all listen?
No, I did.
On headphones, it's like, so like when somebody's calling from outside of the room, the voice will be completely in the right headphone, even if this fucking scene is switching from two characters or whatever. When a car drives up, it's all right, all right, all right, all left, all left, all left.
Yeah, totally. I did it in headphones too, and it's like, stuff, it made no sense. It was trippy. The car would go from the left to the right for no reason, like all this great
stuff.
stuff.
For clarity, Thomas watched this on his iPhone at his government job.
I strike that from the record, please.
If he's got a Muslim name, just get him. Get him. All right. Is that the Ghostbusters box?
I have a music note for around this time, by the way. It's, oh, hey guys, I finally remembered one of the riffs from my high school band. Okay, I think it was this, man. Oh, those were the days. God, I wish I could go back.
This music should have had a no wait in it somewhere. Yeah. No wait.
My music note for this scene is someone's boyfriend wants to play his band's EP for everyone at the party.
Yes.
Similar note. That's a similar note.
I wrote EA Sports start menu from 2005. Awesome. The Strokes all had strokes. Perfect.
And of course, okay, so an enormous amount of this movie is going to be devoted to them, like, driving through the Rapture, except for they're in a desert, so it's just a desert.
Right, I wrote, man, the shithole parts of the country are kind of just still shitholes after the Rapture.
No, like, there's nothing to be burned out or anything.
Not only that, there's an extraordinary amount of contrails in the air. Like, planes have been clearly flying around all fucking day. It's everywhere. There's like nonstop.
So, but just to establish, just to remind us that this is apocalypsy, we see things like looters will be killed bedsheet signs in the same handwriting as the town closed signs. Right. Actually, I think we see that same town closed sign about 3 different times too.
Based on where they're driving through, I have a feeling that the looters will be killed sign was there way before the Rapture.
Yeah, right. They just drove by that while they were filming and said, hey, we should get a shot of that, y'all. That looks apocalypsy.
Valdosta, Georgia?
And then we get more trying to hit feature-length driving scenes. And this is the part where I guess they come across the looters and then drive by them.
Oh.
Yeah, and I wrote in my notes, does David R. White just stop by the road whenever anything happens? Yeah. Like, how many scenes were deleted from this movie? Like, oh, you see that squirrel? David, not every time. Just watch it. Oh, he's got something. He's got something.
And that's a rapture squirrel right there. That's a rapture squirrel.
That's a bad squirrel. That squirrel doesn't believe in Jesus.
And he says in this, it will take hours to go another way.
Yeah.
And these people are off the road. They're
right,
not
even on
the road is a T and they're on the other side of the T. So there's this one dirt road that leads to fucking Los Angeles, guys.
Right, that's where he's going. Yes.
Yeah. The only way to get there, I know you guys aren't from California like I am, but the only way to get there is to go off of road. They didn't build any roads to get to Los Angeles.
No interstates
we don't need
or anything.
Most of them go north only, not south. Yeah.
Just put the evil people in the fucking road. How hard is that? Did they not get the budget for that?
No, they couldn't block off a road, I'm sure, because that was like the road down to somebody's ranch or something, and that's the best they could do. That's literally the kind of budget they were dealing with in this movie. So apparently 12 hours after a fucking power outage, society has just descended into anarchy, and in a vague effort to try to address this ridiculousness, the teenage girl, she's like, can't you feel it? God's grace is gone.
Yeah. Because, when the Christians are gone, all the beauty and love goes out of the world. Because when I think of what the Christians in this country especially are doing, I think of all the good they do.
Yeah, there'll be no one to smack you before you eat. But apparently this is all here so that he can say to her, she says that so that he can say, I don't really feel anything since the Jason Bourne flashbacks.
Oh, and this is so good. This is the first time he has a Jedi flashback. We're going to see this shot several times, but it's just David R. White's fucking marshmallow peep of a face. His just fucking Cro-Magnon, same upside down as it is right side up face. Which he then puts a fucking scarf from JCPenney in front of. It could not be more clearly a scarf. It might as well have had reindeer on it. That's how much a scarf. And so we get more of him being, brainwashed, and they have put a Ghostbusters trap on his face.
Yes, they have.
So never forget that Revelation Road 2, Sea of Glass and Fire, they came up with the Oculus Rift before it was cool.
Oh, I see. So, and then of course during this we get some looting and riots just as like some B-roll, just again to try to get us to the full 90, I guess. Just a very long moment of seeing just a bunch of people like setting shit on fire.
Whenever it shows more than 2 people, this is stock footage that they got from like the news or
So then we get out of our little B-roll of Earth shot and they turn on the radio so that they can listen to some Jesus stuff. Now,
well, wait, before the Jesus stuff comes on, she turns on the radio and she just listens to the static for a second. And I wrote in my notes, she loves this song. It's just like a solid 2 minutes where she's like, I love this one. Do you mind if I sing along?
and then she finds the Jesus stuff, I guess, which is honestly the only downgrade.
Yeah. At this point, I just wrote, if this guy doesn't get some Revelation Roadhead, I'm turning this off and watching Revelation Roadhead, which I own.
Oh my
And I
god.
love, this is actually the second time we've encountered this in one of these movies, but what we're getting on the radio now is, I guess the normal pastor that does this radio broadcast went to heaven, so the assistant pastor who was sinful is still there. Luckily, though, the original raptured pastor left a message for heathens, which makes me ask, do all of the pastors have a break-in case of rapture recording of some sort?
This is not the first break-in case of rapture recording we have encountered in this show.
No.
Which means that David R. White almost certainly has a break-in case of rapture message, which I would pay all the money in the world to see.
Me too.
Well, and here's the beautiful thing. The other movie where we saw that was a Kirk Cameron flick. So we could get both of them, play them side by side, and I would just never stop orgasming.
Best day ever.
So then I guess after like the pastor makes it very clear, again, this is rapture, David A.R. White decides he doesn't want to listen to this anymore, so he turns it off, and Beth is quite upset.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, hey, you turned off the underwater fire safety.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about
I don't
it.
need that anymore. We don't need it.
So now they gotta stop for gas, but it's post-apocalyptic gas, so it's dangerous and suspenseful.
Yeah.
Which, of course, we start this off again by him slowly pulling off to the side of the road.
Pulls off to the side of the road and goes, lots of cars, no people. And I just wrote, David R. White just says what he sees in this movie.
Telephone pole.
But he claims that it's a trap because of this.
Yes, right.
Yeah, because when there's no cars and lots of people, it's never a trap. So this is a trap. Because he learned that when he was the guy from Assassin's Creed. He's going to have a flashback in a second. It'll make sense in a second. Okay.
Spoilers. So he pulls up, and I guess he knows it's a trap, so his plan is to just walk into the trap and see. Because that's what he does, and then scary face-piercing guy from the first movie gets the drop on him.
And I'm really glad they sort of completed the arc of this character. Because I wondered when the first movie ended, I was like, whatever happened to him?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they answered it.
And his brother Brett Favre. So,
Yep.
And this is another spot where they just drop it. Okay, so the guy says freeze, and he's got a gun in his hand, and then they have a little flashback to back in his Jedi days or whatever of the exact same thing happening, and him turning around and shooting the guy. So, like, they're very clearly trying to say, this character could totally turn around and shoot this guy if he wanted to, but he's finding Jesus, so he's not going to.
Yeah, this is the movie equivalent of me after I get my ass kicked sitting outside of Denny's with someone being like, and then I would have been like, huh, and then I would have been like, huh,
right.
because, the elbow's 10 times harder than the fist, but like, you guys were there and I didn't want you to have to see that side of me. I know, Eli. You sure did. You want another napkin? Yeah, my nose is bleeding real bad. I said she looked like a chicken nugget, not that she was a chicken nugget. People don't get jokes.
I have to say, balding Brett Favre is an exquisitely bad actor. He delivers a line. So the face piercing guy starts kicking him after he drops his gun, right? So he starts kicking him. Balding,
Yeah, they handcuff him. I gotta point that out.
Thank you. Handcuffs him and then starts kicking him. And balding Brett Favre delivers his line as though he's a community theater actor who forgot his line and then tried to catch up. He goes like, "Oh, stop doing that!" It is hilarious. Please watch it. It is the greatest line delivery.
It's so hard to watch, but it's kind of worth it. Yeah. So Brett Favre says, "Get him in there with the others," and I'm like, "Please let there be a gimp. Please let there be a gimp." There wasn't.
And by the way, that guy looks just like Maynard from Pulp Fiction.
Yes,
he does. He looks
If
just
he didn't,
like
if he didn't have the face jewelry, he would be Maynard.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, but we never find out if there's a gimp, to be honest, because then Beth, who's still in the car and they don't know about, runs over Brett Favre. So the little girl murders a man with a vehicle.
Oh, I have to say this, but here's the thing. Tense scene. Okay, so David A.R. White, he's dropped his gun. He's helpless.
Yes.
The girl's in the car, and we establish that she can drive the car with like 4 shots of the camera going, keys, face, keys, face. Right. And then slowly it dawns on her, wait, cars drive. And it's like a minute later, she's like,
she has a Jeff Goldblum moment. Drive, cars.
Yeah.
Drive angry. Nicolas Cage. People in the cage. The Gimp. Gimp backwards is Pimp. Pimp, P90, Toyota Prius. Oh my God, cars can go.
that is exactly it. It takes an hour to establish I could drive a car. It's so good.
At which point, after she runs over the guy, David R. White just is like, never mind that Jesus shit. And he does the least impressive stunt. Listen, I don't say this confidently, but I say this confidently. I could do this stunt as well as David R. White does this stunt.
First of all, there is no fucking way David A.R. White did this stunt.
Absolutely not.
And secondly, this stunt was fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Like, this is the only good action moment in the whole fucking movie. It's like, cause he's handcuffed, so he does a dive roll, picks up the gun on his way up, and shoots the guy with his hand still behind his back. That was kind of sick. I mean, I'm gonna give him that.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't happen. It's 3 shots. It's
David
R. White falling down.
Right.
Someone rolling over on top of the gun, which I am very capable of doing. And then David R. White standing up, winded from the action standing up. and then David R. White shooting the guy.
Yeah, well, you could have done David A.R. White's part. Yes, absolutely.
I would kill to see all the time they spent like, no, we need to get these frosted tips on the stunt double just right. Okay, so it looks like this, like he's doing his hair for him.
I would kill to see the takes where David R. White thought that he could just give this a shot. And the 45 minutes of filming where he was just like, I knocked the wind out of me.
See, I would have killed to get a chance to see them like applying the bees to the stunt double's face so he could pass off this David A.R. Whiteness.
Hey man, Gwyneth Paltrow says this is good for your skin.
She probably does. So the key here though is that they saved all the kidnapped people from the rednecks before, so poor man Steve Buscemi decides to give them some gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote Christian Steve Buscemi, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now, I want to point something out here, and this is very meta, that I wrote in my notes at this point. Christian Steve Buscemi, whose name is Dale is gonna kill and eat the mugger now. Ha ha ha. Keep that in mind for about 45 seconds from now. Just keep that in mind. My God.
Remember that on the way out of Interstitial too. And of course, as they're leaving, she sees that there's other cars, so she wants to steal some of them, assuming that, some of those people at least have to be dead or raptured at this point, right?
Right. And he's like, no, listen, let me teach you something about the post-apocalyptic future. You want to drive a car that gets 2.3 miles to the gallon. So we're going to stick with this one, okay? It's the plan.
And then, as they drive away, Christian Stephen Buscemi, in fact, is like, yeah, man, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
Because he starts wrapping a rag around his hand going, I'm a good man. I'm a good man. And I was like, fuck, you are the scariest character in this movie.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to fist the dude. Yeah. I wrote Dale's going to fuck that dude in the ear, isn't he? I wasn't quite as on the nose as Eli was.
Right. Not since my prediction about the Boz was a prediction so amazingly accurate.
No. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Did we mention that earlier? By the way,
no, I want to make sure I get it again because I know you edit, so I think we should mention it again. Like, your prediction was awesome. And then you have another option to put in there when you're editing, to make sure it was like cleaner.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want, I can just change the tone and stuff on your voice when you said your prediction was awesome and make it sound like other people are saying
yeah,
that
and
too.
then add in, I don't know if you can tack this in. Again, I don't know how you edit, but add in like, Thomas, you're brilliant. You must have like just an ability that other people don't have. Could we add that in? Someone say that? Can you say that?
Thomas, you're brilliant. You must have like just an ability that other people don't have. Can we add that in? Someone say that? Can you say that?
I'll see what I can do. So we get Beth and David A.R. White, and they're driving away, and they're having the I saved you, no, I saved you fight, at which time she basically says like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
She's saying whip it out. She's very clearly saying whip it out.
Exactly.
And he's not doing it. I wrote, fuck this, I'm watching Revelation Roadhead.
I wrote, go on, David R. White. Fuck that girl.
It's post-apocalyptic. They didn't send you to heaven. I mean, you got nothing to lose now. But this is the part where they're going to trade secrets. They each have a secret. His, of course, is that he's a ninja badass.
Well, wait, so what we learn from the scuba suit, well, by the way, we need to take a second to talk about the scuba suit. So they have him in a scuba suit in this scene because Bourne is in a scuba suit in the Jason Bourne movies. But the reason why Jason Bourne is in the scuba suit in his flashbacks is because he's swimming onto a boat to kill someone.
Right.
But the morons in this movie were just like, spies wear scuba suits.
Who knew?
So he explains that the Ghostbusters Oculus Rift thing on his face and the caulk gun they gave him an injection with and the jars full of Gatorade that had crazy straws in them made them, quote, I don't feel fear the same way that other people do. And to see those words come out of David R. White's mouth, a man who looks like he got out of a permanent trip to the dentist at all times, is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
I expect
he
him
looks
to
like his
follow it
wisdom
up.
teeth grow in every morning.
I expect him to follow it up with, I just urinate helplessly, you know. It's totally different.
I wrote a book on this fucking scene. His whole badass power is that he doesn't feel fear. I've got news for you. There's pills for that. You can just take a pill and you're fine. That component is actually pretty easy. This is the fucking badass scenes. Not one time did I think, ooh, the amazing thing about David A.R. White is that he's not scared. No, I was a little more impressed by the fucking Jedi ninja skills that he's just somehow has. The fact that he's able to one-shot kill every single bad guy when all they do is fire constant machine guns at him non-stop. That's more the power. Is that because he's not afraid? So like, if you see Superman fly away and just kick people's asses, it's like, oh, he's not afraid of gravity. So that's why he can just do whatever he wants and fly.
Yeah, and this is where we get the real payoff for the whole Jedi thing that they were setting up. This was apparently his first mission, and it was like watching kids play guns.
Oh, very much white guys.
I was just waiting. Yeah,
This was the greatest thing.
They have all these white guys dressed up like brown guys so he can shoot them.
And the leader, one of them, is clearly Rob Reiner, the Arab soldier. It's Rob Reiner. I want to watch the movie about that guy.
Oh yeah, billionaire money.
Well, the first guy he kills, I was going to make a joke that, oh, that's Gary Shandling. And then I thought, wait, that's probably the same actor. And I looked it up.
Right.
He's credited in this movie, even though he wasn't in it, you know, the DEA
really?
agent. So I think it was him. I actually think that was the first guy he shot.
That's very possible.
By the way, can we talk about his tactic for shooting them? He walks out of the open desert, right, to this compound, and they all hold guns up at him, and he puts his hand up like, no, don't do that. And everyone's like, okay.
I didn't think about it like that.
Shoot you. And they're like, oh,
hey,
God,
no fair.
Well, and two, it's not even like he goes like quick, bam, bam, bam with the shots. It's like bam, move over, bam, move over, bam. So he's not even fast. It's just, I guess maybe the sun was in their eyes. I don't know.
We could do a whole episode about this scene.
It was so good.
Well, he's got no fear because he's got all that orange and lemon lime Gatorade coursing through his veins.
Right, yeah. They put
it's
that
what
glue
plants
gun
crave.
up against his head, so now he's just fine. So yeah. And as much as I was expecting at one point for one of the guys he shot to jump up and go, I got you, it never happened. But this is, of course, also intermixed with the woman, like, talking about how, like, they're going to give her powers. So it all ends with them, like, unveiling him like RoboCop.
but it's just David R. White.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah. She's like the evil senator, and she's like, imagine an atheist soldier with no source of absolute morality. Unstoppable. I present
Everyone's
our
like,
prototype.
dear God, that's impossible.
Yeah. Here he is. He's been standing patiently behind this plastic tarp the whole time we've been talking.
This
And they
whole
do.
intro.
They pull it back, and it's just David R. White's fucking mushy, upside-down rabbit that accidentally got caught in a NutriBullet face. That's all there is to it.
And they're like, okay, I get it. It's April 1st. It's April 1st. I looked at the joke, Noreen. I looked at the calendar. I get it, Noreen. Very funny. Where's the real super killer that you're going to unveil for us today?
They could have revealed a toddler with Downs, and it would have been more intimidating.
And over the course of this, we get to hear like, your mission is whatever. There's this fucking something. And it really should have just said, your mission is, we've discovered there's some white people dressed up as Iraqis in the Central Valley of California, amidst a bunch of power lines and stuff that are clearly American. And so it's weird that there's, this is a mission,
it's
but
the Alamo, but
what
yeah.
can we do? Yeah, we're just going to send you there because why not? I mean, if they're pretending to be Iraqis, I guess we'll send a freaking C8 or a whatever CIA guy.
We're going to send a pretend CIA guy.
Yeah, right.
How else do you deal with pretend Iraqis?
It's like Spies Like Us. I get it.
Also, why does he need a silencer for this mission?
Right?
He's supposed to be just killing
I'll
like
tell
an
you
Arab
why.
soldier camp out in,
It's so
I
that bet you could use the sound effects from GoldenEye for N64. That's why.
Oh, I see.
It is literally the
I knew those were RCP 90s going after him. Yeah.
The silenced PP7 from GoldenEye is the sound you hear in this movie.
Just David R. White standing by his kid. Okay, shoot the gun again. One more time.
Hold the microphone
Okay, but we
a little
gotta all
closer.
be quiet. We gotta all be quiet and shoot it again.
So the end of this mission, I guess, is that he went in and shot a kid because he has no fear of shooting kids. That's how they were able to make him kill kids, is because he had no fear.
It's just her saying, find the target, kill the target, find the target. And now I was thinking, well, if I were the kid, I would just say, don't find the target, don't kill the target, don't find it. And then I think it would cancel out. Like, as long as you say it as many times as she's saying it in his head, I think you're good.
He was brown, so he doesn't believe in, or he doesn't
Oh, he does. Oh, okay.
understand.
She also keeps saying, there is no fear, there is no mercy.
Yes,
So apparently
yeah.
she's preparing him to beat up Danny LaRusso at the
Right,
All-Valley
to
tournament.
sweep the leg, yeah.
He also got some No Mercy Gatorade in that syringe, I guess.
Right, well, yeah, exactly.
As he comes out of his flashback, he says to her, "It was extreme." And I wrote in my notes, "You ever have a gusher?" It's like,
So I guess now it's her turn to tell her secret, Beth, the teenage girl that's riding with him. So she tells him about the encounter he had with It's Always Jesus in Philadelphia from the end of the first movie, when Jesus showed up to make her invisible while the bikers looked for her.
yeah. We get a little bit of counter apologetics as well, because she's like, "It's all in the Bible," and he's like, "Bible says a lot of things."
I wrote, tell her about the donkey members and the horse jizz. Tell her about the donkey members and the horse jizz.
Right. I wrote, because her response is, "Jingly keys, David. Jingly keys."
Right.
All right, I get
That's
it.
so funny. I wrote that. I had that exact thought. Like, Bible says a lot of things. Yeah, exactly. It says like a billion things, and you're picking one thing and saying, no, this is the right thing. This is what it actually meant.
Jingly keys.
Right. So I guess now that we're a solid hour into this movie without any single plot point being introduced or resolved, I suppose we earned a break, if nothing else. But before we take it, let me give Act 3 the hard sell here. Will the order in which these scenes are being revealed eventually matter? Can our hero protagonize before it's too late? Will David A.R. White make it to the end of the movie in time? Find out the answers to these questions and one that no sane person would ask when we return for the admittedly spectacular conclusion of Revelation Road 2, Sea of Glass and Fire.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Legitimate Business Biker Gang. All right, excellent. Just a couple of housekeeping tips. Please keep your lanyards on at all times for these first few days. Now make sure we don't start each day with a different name game, am I right?
I'm Stuart the Sloth.
But until those get locked in, let's make everybody's life a lot easier. Now remember, we ride together and we die together, but we can probably prevent the latter with some quick safety tips. What's the rule that we always say?
Helmets on at all times, even when bathing and sleeping.
Bathing and sleeping. Exactly. Excellent. Now, let's go do some biker accounting.
Wait, I thought you were Stuart the Salamander.
David, thanks so much for coming in.
You betcha. Really excited about this sequel.
Yeah. About that.
Yeah, we had a few questions about the script.
Okay, sure. What do you want to know?
Well, some of the stage direction seems unorthodox.
Such as?
Well, this scene at the sheriff's office, you have teenage girl grinds against me uncontrollably written in there. That's all. Between every line of dialogue, it says that.
Right.
Yeah, and then the next two pages stick together.
Oh, sorry about that. You gotta lick. You lick your, not the page, lick your fingers.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, do you think an underage girl grinding against your character is appropriate here for the storyline?
The part where she gives me the over the pants handy, that would happen below the camera frame. Like, nobody would see that part.
Oh, okay, but then why would you put it in the script at all if it's not?
I don't understand the question.
movie?
I don't understand the question.
Well, I mean,
you know what? Let's set that one aside for just a second, because my biggest problem with it was this part you have marked as Jedi badass scene.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, it just says I could be all like pew 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 pew.
Right.
Okay, but I mean, what? exactly did you have in mind?
Oh, not like a church pew. Pews are like gun noises, like pew, 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 pew. And then
No, I get that. I just think we need more to go on than that.
Oh, so like go hardcore, add like a pacow here and there, like, oh!
No, you should definitely not do that either.
I mean, from what I'm gathering here, you just want to spend 6 minutes of this movie with you wandering around randomly shooting people?
Yes, that is exactly
Okay. I just don't understand why our viewers would want to watch that.
The people would be brown.
Oh, okay, now that makes sense.
I'd watch that.
So we're good?
Yeah, perfect.
I still don't see why you'd be dressed like a Jedi, but whatever.
Oh, because they won't see me.
And we're back for yet more of this incessant nonsense, and we're going to pick up the action with the biker gang questioning Dale, poor man Steve Buscemi, about whether he's seen a potato with 5 o'clock shadow wearing a chartreuse poet's blouse moving through the area.
And this dangerous armed biker gang, Steve Buscemi's like, hey, are you guys going to pay for your gas? And it's like, what are you doing, man? But that causes him to have another fucking flashback.
Another flashback that starts out with a guy saying, again, this actually appeared in the script. The skulls came out of nowhere and shot D-Block. He ain't gonna make
Not
it.
D-Block. D-Block was my favorite.
Yeah, this is dialogue out of the scene that Tobias and Carl Weathers are doing in Arrested Development. I'm from the other side of this tracks, and I get like, it's so good.
You can get a free refill on any drink at Burger King.
Does she get a shift meal or a discount on select menu items?
I think about half of our audience is loving this. The other half, maybe not so much. Anyway, but yeah, this is where, and of course they were out doing legitimate biker business because that's all they do at legitimate biker gang. So they were protecting a shipment. And an evil biker gang came out. That's the skulls. Anyway, so the gist of it is that there's a rat in their team.
Yeah, and I wrote, maybe the guy who's looking away, sweating, and tightening light bulbs. Yeah.
I like identical note I have. There's a rat. I wonder if it's the super nervous rat-looking guy who is obviously the rat.
And I have in my notes, gee, I wonder who the rat is.
I was thinking it was basically like that scene where you first see Batman and Batman v Superman. Oh, no rats over here. Yeah. But apparently they captured one of the skulls. So Boz is going to shoot him until he tells him who the rat is, but his wife won't let him be evil because Jesus.
Well, he's aiming the gun at the guy's dick.
Yes, he is.
Very
clearly.
And I would have already confessed, like, right when the aim happens. I'd be like, whatever it is, it's that guy over there. It's the guys. No, if I were the captive, I'd be like, guys, you don't even need me to talk. Look at that guy. Just look at him. That's the rat.
It's so obvious.
Ask him one question.
The guy over the urine puddle over there. That's the guy. Yeah.
Then he and the wife have an argument for quite a while about it. And if I were the captive, I'd be like, I feel like I shouldn't be here for this. Do you want me to, maybe like just scoot my chair? You guys are arguing. You're talking. I feel it's intrusive.
That's a crazy billionaire remake. We just sub in Thomas for this character. Just like, I feel like I should go. Like, I'm happy to stay and moderate because I'm impartial in this situation, but like, I feel like I'm sort of in on a fight that I shouldn't.
I want to make sure both of you get everything out that you have to say. I want to make sure all sides are represented here. But or I can go if it's more comfortable. I can go. I will scoot my little chair that I'm handcuffed to, and I can get right at it.
Don't even untie me. Don't even untie me.
Slowly move away.
I'll see myself out. Ka-chunk. Ka-chunk. Ka-chunk.
Which is essentially how it ends, because eventually the Boz is talked into doing the Jesus-y thing. What would Jesus do? I guess he would let the murderous biker gang guy go. So that's what he does. But his minions aren't too sure about this course of action. And that's the end of this flashback.
That's easy for Jesus to do because Jesus didn't have to manage a Christian biker gang. That's tough to do. I mean,
right.
Jesus didn't have the kind of pressures that the Boz is having.
Clearly. So yeah, but what we're supposed to learn from this flashback, I guess, is that back then he was merciful, but he's not merciful anymore because this is when Dale is like, you guys gonna pay for that gas? And he kills Dale.
Yeah.
So And we think this scene is over, but it's not. And the reason it's not is phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Apparently Dale had the hillbilly guy tied up in the ice chest so he could eat him.
Right.
Yeah, he said he was going to make steaks out of me, and I was like, I wrote this movie.
Yeah, and it's
Bad
great
job me.
because when you hear a gunshot is exactly when you want to start banging on the ice container saying, hey guys, hey, I'm in here.
And indeed, they are going to murder him, except he's like, I know a shortcut through California?
Yeah, California. Oh, here's the shortcut. Take I-5. That's all of California. One freeway that goes from the bottom of the state to the top of the state. That's it. That's the whole state.
So yeah, but the reason he's going to help him is because they're going to kill him otherwise. So he's going to help him find Potato Head. And then we go back to driving endlessly against featureless terrain. Because again, they had to make 90
Gotta
minutes.
get through the script.
Right.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was at this point I realized, and I apologize if this is a little inside for people who don't know this. The reason I can't take him seriously, among so many reasons, Fluffy, Ben Roethlisberger, rapey, marshmallow face, he sounds like Schmidt from New Girl. If anyone watches New Girl, he talks like Schmidt from New Girl, and it's like, imagine Schmidt being portrayed as like a CIA badass. That's imagine that.
It's true. He looks like Schmidt's unemployed older brother. Like, that actor comes home and his brother's like, yeah, still staying with mom and dad, but you know, maybe you can get me in the show, right? I bet that Deschanel girl's pretty hot, right? You hit that yet? No, man, I'm just an actor. Like, we work together. Yeah, you hit that. You hit that. How's your band? Good. Or CDs on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I got a song into this Christian movie. Dude, it's gonna take off. It's gonna take off.
Right.
And so she's trying to eat she's riding with a teenage girl who's still in this movie, just a reminder. And she tries to eat his hi-ho, and he's like, no, that's my hi-ho. And I wanted so badly for them to fight over it and for him to go into the dead zone and snap her neck.
Find the target, kill the target. Find the target, kill the
My notes at this point are just stuff like, is it just me or has there been half an hour left in this movie for a really long time?
I wrote, still 32 minutes left in this movie and no things have happened.
No, the only thing we've done is we've moved him from the hotel he was in at the end of the last movie onto the road that was next to the hotel. That is the only thing we've done, and we've been through more than an hour of fucking movie.
Right. And they're getting headlines from the rest of the world.
Oh, right.
What's going on with the apocalypse. I read one of the headlines. It was thousands of people missing. White House blames terrorist group.
Well, they can't blame Jesus.
It just disappeared, all the people, those terrorists. Also, she gets a text message on her cellular telephone
Yes.
that says the following. It says, worldwide blackout. That happens.
Yes.
It might as well say,
Talking about a
your
useless
cell
text.
phone will not work.
Yeah, right.
Also, who texted that to her?
Yeah,
Right. If you can read this, this is a terrible movie.
Yeah, who are the people who weren't good enough to get raptured? They weren't good enough people, but they were good enough to like, well, I want to, make sure everyone's informed. I want to kind of get the message out there. Like, guys, there's a blackout. Just texting everybody about it.
It's like people who
love it.
check in that they're safe during terrorist attacks that happen in countries they don't live in.
Yep. So then we come back to the biker gang who is literally going to head them off at the pass. But they can't do that before we have another flashback. So it was so good.
Okay.
I love this part.
So she's in the biker thing. They're all getting ready to roll out, and she drops her, by the way, this is true, can of Cheese Whiz, which she is bringing on this biker gang
Yeah,
raid.
this is the mother. This is
Right.
the boss's wife.
Yeah, the boss like says to a guy, we're going to do the hit, tonight, not 9 days from now or 9 hours from now or whatever he says. We're going to do it now. And that's like to try to trick whoever the rat is,
Right. And she drops her Cheese Whiz, so she ends up around the corner, and then the rat, who, surprise, is the guy the daughter brought in, comes in and he's like, yeah, man, they're doing it tonight. I don't care what you heard. I am a rat. I am the bad guy.
I just have to say, when you're ratting on your biker gang, make sure to have really loud cell phone conversations in the biker
Text.
base about it.
Text.
You might as well
Why
say,
wouldn't you just text?
he's like, hey, hello? Hey, it's me, the rat. It's the rat. Can I talk to rival baker gang? Is this rival biker gang? Is this you, rival? I'm the rat. Come in.
He might as well. He talks the way I imagine Bernie Sanders talks on a cell phone.
The millionaires and billionaires. They're doing the job tonight.
We need the taxes, Jane. Well, they're mad at me. They're mad at me. That's why, Jane. That's why.
Listen, I'm a rat. That's what rats do.
I didn't say you weren't busy.
So mom overhears the rat. So the rat tricks her into revealing herself with the clever, I closed the door, but I didn't walk out trick.
But if he knew she was there, why not just walk in and know she was there? Why do you need to trick her out of where you know she is? That doesn't.
When she was hiding from him, I wanted so badly for her to be like, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Sorry, damn it.
Fuck. Oh, shit. Yeah, that would have been great if he had just sneezed and it would have been like the shaving a haircut bit from Roger Rabbit where she just couldn't not say bless you. That would have been awesome. But instead, the rat shoots her in the stomach and she dies 8 final words into the boss's ear later.
Right. She says she can't see because she got shot in the stomach.
And by the way, when she first gets shot, the biker gang all hears the gun go off, and they run inside of their compound like, you know the way dogs overrun a tennis ball and slide? They all run into the room like that. And Boss has to like hold them back as they're sliding past him. Crazy.
Oh, perfect.
So then we get the single greatest scene in the history of Christian films. I loved this scene so fucking much. This is where he makes his vengeance hammer.
His atheist hammer. Yep.
And they literally show him like he's like buffing it or something, and they'll pan back to his face and he's angrily buffing it, and then he's welding it, but he's angrily welding it. Well, he's welding with rage.
He's creating this hammer by putting it near sparks. That's
the
how this
important
hammer
thing,
is constructed. And it's just a pole with like a used car part. He sticks on top of it and like aluminum foil around it. And he's in a foundry with sparks flying at it.
He is yell forging the
Yes,
whole time.
yes.
He's yelling as he's. How long does this take? Like a week? Like he's just yelling the whole.
He's gotta get up every morning. Oh, my throat is killing me, but.
Where's the cuts of him like screaming at his breakfast and screaming as he showers and screaming
pouring
in
a
his
bowl
sleep?
of cereal.
I just want to see. I would give anything to be a fly on the wall to see Boz and the director talking afterwards, and he's going like, "No, I can read the stage instructions. I don't know what weld angrily means. I don't understand that as a concept."
Here, I'll show you.
We get to learn a lot about how you make foam hammers, though, because first you put like a little metal hammer together on a pole, and then you throw that away, and then you
And then you
order
get
an
a
earth
different
hammer.
hammer. It doesn't match.
From Amazon. Yeah. But you have to yell while you're
Yes.
clicking. Click. One click by.
And then, as if that wasn't great enough, he finishes his hammer. The sparks are still flying everywhere, even though he's done. And he lifts it above his head, and slow motion bear growls. I could watch this every 5 minutes for the rest of my life. It's my fucking ringtone now. It's my alarm clock sound now. Everything in my life is going to be his growl from now on.
Because it's in slow motion.
Oh,
He yells, he goes, roar. It's amazing.
Oh, shit. If this movie was easier to watch, I'd have thrown in a clip, but I apologize, guys. It's really tough. It's not on Amazon or anything. So, okay. So now they have to, we are done with the flashback or whatever. They're heading David A.R. White off at the pass, as you recall, but they have to trick him into slowing down because they can't shoot him as he drives by. Apparently, I guess that wouldn't be. I don't know. For whatever fucking reason, they
Stop trying to think of reasons for things in this movie, Noah.
I feel like there was a very similar conversation in the writer's room. Stop trying to think of reasons for things.
Oh, God. And there's coming up even greater examples of that. But go ahead.
Right. So I guess the way they're going to do this is they're going to get Andrea Logan White, the chick biker, to look like she's helpless standing by the side of the road. And because he's the hero of the movie, he'll stop to help her, and then they'll shoot him from a distance. That's the plan. But instead of playing along, the daughter who he's yelled at and screamed at through this entire 2 movies now decides instead that she's going to clumsily leap into his car when he pulls over. Now, keep in mind, he's got the teenage girl who she knows from the last movie.
Right.
Anyway, they could have used anybody else, but no. But I wanted to point out that when she jumps into this car, it's the most clumsy fucking it looks like my fat ass cat realizing the table is too high. Her fucking half of her body's still sticking out. She's like, it's an ambush drive. And she's just like slogging along and shit. It's quite fun. I think she did her own stunt.
Oh, also, she very clearly lost her voice at some point during this shoot, because during this entire scene, Andrea's voice is like, you gotta go, guys! You gotta go!
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, what the fuck am I hearing right now? This is, for no reason, no explanation. She's like,
she's all of a sudden Cartman after gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah, and I love that the director was like, yeah, great, do it. Yeah, keep
roll with it. It's
David R. White and her were watching dailies, and she was like, does that sound weird? And he was like, no, you sound great. Really great.
So
I want to do it now.
Hold on, I'll get the sheet with the hole. I'll
get the mask of Boz.
But during the gunfire as they're driving away, the teenage girl, Beth, gets shot. Remember,
in her bulletproof vest.
Yes, she was wearing the bulletproof vest. But that doesn't matter because we've been setting up for several movies that you have to put your trust in God, not the bulletproof vest, neither of which saved her. At this point.
The bullet just goes through the vest, and there's no moment of like, oh man, it went between. It's just like, yeah, man, those are shitty vests I used to sell.
They are cardboard.
Yeah, that's the conclusion I drew. He's just selling bullshit vests. He's like, yeah, I'm a total just fraud. Everything about me is a fraud. You didn't know
that? It's just a jacket. This is a North Face jacket.
This is where the greatest thing. This movie has a really hard problem with distances. It does not understand distances. They get in the car for like 10 yards, and then they stop because they're like, she's hit or whatever, and they talk for probably 35 minutes, and the motorcycle gang hasn't caught him somehow. Like, where do we park our motor? Hey, were we in J7? Or no, it was ice. Oh fuck! And they're like, find the parking lot episode of Seinfeld.
Now.
They're trying to find. Yeah. It seriously takes an hour for them to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so that the little girl can have this death scene that is so bizarre because apparently this was Jesus' plan. That's what she told. Okay, so when Jesus showed up in the first movie, he says, I need you to play a part in his story so that he can be the hero I need him to be. Jesus' plan was to block a bullet with a teenage girl.
Because he didn't want to contact the guy directly. He didn't want to just tell David R. White what his mission was. I'm going to kill this girl instead.
He could have just said they're going to head you off at the pass. Don't stop for the limping girl.
Yeah, he's like, things are awkward between me and him. I don't really,
you know what?
Weird.
Mention me casually, like, see what he says. Like, don't make it seem like I asked. Be like, oh man, what do you think of Jesus? Like,
yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I talked to Jesus, and you came up. We were talking, and it wasn't like, I don't know how you came up, but you came up at some point. Me and Jesus were, I just was wondering.
Does Jesus have a Facebook? Do you both have Facebook?
So a group message together?
I wanted to say on the God's plan thing, doesn't that completely ruin your movie? Like if I'm watching a movie as a viewer and then they're like, oh, this was all God's plan, why do I care about this fucking movie then? It's all, he's just planning this shit. It doesn't matter what happens. He planned it. Why, and then furthermore, why does God's plan curiously revolve around our main characters? There's like 100 other characters that, he's dead, he got shot in the face, he's dead, doesn't matter. Like, no one cares about those characters, but it's like God's plan that we save this one character just right.
Well, he doesn't have enough nominally Christian ninja assassins.
Thomas is adorable. He hasn't watched 34 other Christian movies. He's like, guys, isn't this a little
So and then we get another great, like, my cat could have stomped better dialogue where Andrea Logan White, who's in the back seat now, is like, what are you doing? He's like, he won't stop until I stop him. So, yeah, now we're going back for the big David A.R. White v. the Boz fight.
Right. But before we get that, she tells him, that's my dad.
Right.
Just so you know. And he's like, okay, so can I murder your father right now? Yes or no? Okay, good. Buckle up. We're doing it.
All right. Good.
So now it's time for car versus motorcycle chicken.
What? But yes.
I want to play car versus motorcycle chicken.
Call the car. I call the car. I call the car.
Oh, damn, no.
I said before, this movie doesn't understand distances. No, now I want to say this movie really doesn't fucking understand distances. The car and the motorcycles drive at each other for, again, 45 seconds.
Yes.
They're looking at each other, shooting at each other, full speed, 100 miles an hour, driving at each other for eternally. It just never ends.
They don't understand distances, masses. Yeah, they didn't have any of the physics in this movie. So yeah, so on the first pass, I guess Boz moves out of the way at the last second so he can't run him over. That doesn't seem like it would be very difficult to run over a guy in a motorcycle who's driving directly at you, but okay.
As someone who's accidentally hit several people on motorcycles already, I can tell you it is very easy to.
Plus, the Boz is wearing like 90 pounds of fur, so how does he even move around out of the way?
And he experiences fear, so it's not really a fair fight.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, exactly. So on the first pass, Boz shoots him in the shoulder. And then I guess he shoots all of the other bad guys, so it's just him and Boz left. Those guys can die. It's no big deal.
I wanted to say Soul Collector, who somebody, I can't remember which of you, established he wears a jockstrap on his face.
Yes,
and he runs straight into the windshield, and I thought, oh, finally, the jockstrap on your face is paying off. Like safety. Once again, his teeth were fine. Like he's dead, but his teeth.
He's been planning this out. Yeah, exactly. He wants to look good for the funeral. So now everybody's out of bullets. It's like the hockey scene in Clerks. Nobody brought more bullets. So now and I wrote in my notes, is this really what's happening? But it is. They're going to drive together, but the Boz has his Nerf hammer with which he's going to smash the car.
Well, hold on. He picks up the Nerf hammer going 90 miles an hour effortlessly with one hand. This is a foam fucking hammer. Does it weigh a ton? Does it weigh an ounce? I don't know.
It changes. Again, they don't know distances or masses.
Yeah.
But, so he drives up to the fucking car and hits it with the hammer so hard that the car rolls over in the air.
Oh, but when he hits it, it goes bonk. It is the most cartoony noise you can possibly imagine.
And we get it 12 times.
This is like Batman knocking two bad guys' heads together.
My music note for the hammer here was more cowbell.
So bad.
And apparently, the hammer's a blue shell or something, so everything explodes, and the hammer might as well spin off the side of the road and explode too. It's ridiculous.
Right, but we're not done with the sound effects clonking here, so it can't. So both of them wreck, and now Boz is coming limping up to him with the hammer so that we can get the clonk again, and oh my god, at the clonk. The whole movie's worth watching just for this. Yeah. He keeps trying to hit him with a hammer and missing, hitting the fucking road. And
we've established this is a 1 billion-ton hammer. It took out a car.
Yes.
So maybe not the best weapon for close range hand-to-hand combat. Hold on, stand there, David A.R. White. I'm gonna take a big swing. Give me a minute. I gotta stretch
behind my
first.
back here,
and
like a Byron Leftwich.
Oh, I'll just
here.
duck. I'm just gonna duck.
I'm
yeah, you're right. You can't just duck. Shit.
So we get the clonk 5 or 6 times in a row, and then David A.R. White picks up a pipe so they can have a hammer versus pipe fight, to which I wrote, still better than Batman v Superman.
And he hits the Boz with the pipe several times, and the Boz is like, whatever.
Yes, just a pipe. That's fine.
And it makes it sound like he's hitting steel with the pipe, too.
It's the adamantium, yeah.
So he hits him with the pipe and he wins, and then he turns to him and in the most beautiful moment of real truth you could ever ask for, he goes, "We're not warriors." And I'm like, no fucking duh, Ryan Gosling's Neanderthal. grandfather.
Remember when we both agreed we were warrior poets in that parking lot at the hotel?
Over the vending machine.
I no longer agree.
Yeah. Boz should have said like, no, dude, we are warriors. We are. Guys,
Well, he
warriors.
basically does. So, and then I guess he's about to kill him, but that's when the Boz's shirt falls open and we see Mom's fucking Flava Flav cross from the beginning has been around his chest the whole time, and that Thomas was
This might
right.
be a good time to mention. I don't know. Did we say this? I did predict that. So this might be a good time to talk about that for a few minutes, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I wrote in my notes, he's wearing a crucifix, Thomas wins a prize. He gets to come back for movie 3.
Yeah, so good.
Jackpot.
You win? And then David R. White takes this opportunity to, like, get right with Jesus. He has the, like, I want to talk Jesus. But this is the only I want to get right with Jesus in a Christian movie we've seen while someone is being strangled. And listen, as someone who's paid several men Boz's side to choke me at various times in my life, they're doing it wrong. I'm just saying they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, they didn't establish a safe word or anything. Yeah. So he starts choking him to death while he's getting right with Jesus. And then Andrea Logan White shows up and she's like, Dad, I just wanted you to be proud of me. And I don't know why I'm bringing this up. The fact that you're choking a man to death seems more urgent, but I thought I'd mention it.
Let go of your anger and also David R. White's throat.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, hey, can you stop strangling a guy? I have some feelings. Like, we're either finish strangling him or stop. One or the other. I just want to talk feeling.
She runs over and grabs the hammer. I have the speaking stick.
Yeah, right. And then, as if this isn't insane enough, we cut to, because now it looks like David A.R. White's dead, but the Boz is learning to love too, and so he walks away. And then we cut to dead Beth and the fucking retarded Jesus from the last movie, like Obi-Wanning a little way off the road. They're just standing off to the side of the road, dead, looking on as this happens.
Right, and she's like, where are we going? And he's like, heaven. And she's like, what's heaven like? And he's like, jangly keys. I can't. Here's the problem. If you try and describe it, it's not as good. It's not good. We don't have a good, because we don't fuck or like.
Right.
Like,
Nothing
I've got,
fun there.
have you ever seen Asa Goes to Hell? It's like that.
Yeah. It's like your parents and grandparents are there. And it's like, yeah, it's heaven, but it's like, but I'm not there. So would they be happy that I'm not there? Or how does that work? Are they?
Oh no,
yeah.
you're there for everyone's a series of illusions for everyone else in all possible combinations, but nobody's fucking because their grandparents are there and it's hard to fuck in front of your grandparents, except there's a guy up there named Eli who just loves it. We got it right for him.
So yeah, but the clear message that we're supposed to get from here, I guess, is don't worry about dying, Christians. It's fun. And then we can get David A.R. White waking up from his thorough David Carradining.
Yeah, the key is to always have a spotter to take the bag off your head. That's the key.
And then I guess him and Andrea Logan White go and bury the teenage girl in the desert together, which is weird because that's how my wife and I met. It's very romantic.
And by the way, we know the apocalypse must be real because on the horizon, as he's driving away, you could see several places that have the burning log Netflix video comes an entire mountain on fire in the foreground, in the background. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but we can't get paroled from this movie just yet because first he has to show up back at his house with the world aflame around him. Well, but not really.
Right. And my music note for this scene is, let's take this Christian rock concert down a notch so people can really chill out, you know?
My music note is this person calls his keyboard a synthesizer.
Oh, it's at this point that you realize this movie's struggle to get to 85 fucking minutes was like finally getting to the toilet with the worst diarrhea you've ever had. They were in the edit bay just like, come on, we just need a few more minutes of movie. Let's have him look for his obviously raptured wife for like a half hour. He'll just say, hey, is she in this room? Oh no. Is she in this room? Oh no. Oh my God. And then finally they hit 85 minutes. They're like, oh.
Like playing hide and seek with a toddler. Is she under the couch? Is she behind the refrigerator?
Seriously, the last 15 minutes of this movie are 20 seconds. They really are.
Yes. Yes, it all could have been, well, the whole fucking movie could have been taken care of in about 3 minutes for all that happened. But yes, eventually he finds the pile of burned dead wife and kid in a pile on the floor.
Yeah, okay, but he only finds the one pile of dirt. So how does he know they were standing together? He should
Right.
be looking for his evil baby or his evil wife or something.
Right. It's weird. Throughout this movie, I kept thinking, so everybody leaves just a dusty shit behind when they are raptured. I don't know why that is.
A dusty shit. The Eli Bosnick story.
But he still had sex with the weird pile of ashes just one last time. Just
Well, just...
It's
I saw
okay.
there's a little hole in it. Yeah.
So then, realizing his wife's been raptured, he goes out into his front lawn.
Well, no, first he sits down and reads the Bible for a few
Oh,
moments.
yes.
It's the best. When these people in these movies, well, the two that I've watched, when they pick up the Bible with like new eyes, like, the Bible. It's like, no, it just says the same stupid shit it said your whole life. It still says all this ridiculous shit about Onan spilling his seed and like all that. They look at it like, oh, what is this life-changing document I'm about to look at?
Is that how you make striped goats? Yeah, exactly. So then he cries at Jesus, and then he cries about his dead wife, and then he reads the Bible. I believe that's 3 squares on Christian movie bingo all at once in this one scene. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they're really trying to get an all square in these last 3 minutes of this movie.
And once again, we really need to stretch this out. So at last minute, Marshmallow Ben Roethlisberger has dyslexia because he reads the Bible like someone who doesn't really know how to read words. He's like, take the Lord. It's like, oh my God, just end already.
They, Junior.
It's like when you were in class as a kid and the teacher would do popcorn and then they'd always popcorn back to the kid who had trouble reading. You were like, fuck, can I read to everybody?
Photography. Fuck this kid. Why do you always let him? Jesus.
And then we get him leaving the house. He's put on a more manly shirt while he was in there, which was nice. But then we get this weird, like, I'm not going to be a ninja assassin anymore moment where he throws away his gun.
Yep.
Just like
In the
into the street. Yes. What?
Well, you see, he takes the clip out, and no genius will ever figure that out. Like, here's a clip and here's a gun. I will just put them together.
The gun to the left and the clip to the right. And he's like, well, no more guns now.
Right. That's safe. Yeah.
Then he looks up into heaven and says, take good care of her, Lord. And I wanted him so bad to be like, she can't come unless there's something in her ass. I mean, I don't use that.
Eli,
How you're gonna
I
use
have
it.
the PG version of that note. He says, take care of them, Lord, like a 50s oldie about your girl finding another steady. He's like, take good care. Oh, take good care of my baby.
And that is the difference between me and Thomas in a nutshell. He makes a 1950s, they found a new thing, and I'm like, put a thumb up there. Put a thumb up there. Doesn't matter how hard you yank the mower, you gotta prime the pump.
So, and then he drives away, and apparently he stole one of the motorcycles or whatever after giving Beth shit about wanting to steal other people's cars and stuff. And I just wrote, a real Christian would obey helmet laws, David A.R. White, but he doesn't.
And by the way, he literally winks at the camera as he's riding.
Does he really?
He must have tried so hard not to, so many takes. Don't wink at it. He winks at it.
And there was also, so the credits go, there's an in the middle of the credits scene.
Yes, I missed this.
Yeah, which is that Sting is still alive and looks up and Jesus is there.
What?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I guess.
So, you guys are saying there's a part 3 of this? So, that's just like
Check
a
your
clerical
contract, man.
error,
Check
right?
your
That's not a
contract.
real...
There's a part 3 of this.
Someone just said like they typoed, right? They're like, 3 instead of 2. I fat fingered it. No, there's actually there can't be a third movie of this. There's nothing. There's nothing.
There's even less to go to the next movie than there was in the first one. Yes.
They don't even bother. You know how last movie they said like to be continued. This one, they didn't even do that. They're like, look, this is a fucking felony already what we're doing here. So let's not call attention to the to be continued. Let's just play it a little close to the vest.
All right. So now I don't know if we mentioned mentioned this yet or not, but I believe Thomas really knocked his prediction out of the park last week of what to expect in this movie.
Wait, what did he predict? What did you predict?
Did I?
He predicted that there would be some kind of Christianity in it. Anyway, would anyone like to challenge him for the title? Maybe any predictions for part 3 here?
I have to abstain because I watched this movie 4 times about 2 years ago.
Oh, did you really?
I've
Part
seen
three?
the part 3 about 4 times.
Oh, awesome.
This has been a movie that I show people at parties and for my own amusement
Oh my
for
God.
years.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I will, if I can make a minor prediction. Kevin Sorbo in a fur coat running a fight club. That's all I'm going to say.
We don't have to do like the preview review now or anything. Everyone's
Done.
going to be here next
Wow.
week.
My prediction is just a general note that I kept thinking to myself over the course of this film. It's not really a prediction, but an observation. In the post-rapture world, it's going to be so much easier to pick up chicks because any girl you see, it's going to be like, yeah, I know. You did something. I don't know what you did, but you did something. So I'm going to have so much confidence, in the
In the
post-rapture world.
post-rapture world, every girl is a girl who smokes.
Yeah, there you go. Well, since this film clearly stemmed from David A.R. White's... Oh, I'm sorry, Heath, did you have a...
Pass.
All right.
That's safe. That's a good strategy. Good.
Well,
Yeah.
since this film clearly stemmed from David A.R. White's desire to be a superhero when he grew up, in our effort to capture the true value of this film in a succinct rating system, I ask you to imagine the following scenario. All right? You, too, grew up to be a superhero, but your superpower is even stupider than this movie. What power do you have? And for bonus points, what is your superhero name?
Okay. My superpower is that I don't experience the emotion of shame. Don't have it. So I can do lots of other stuff other superheroes can. I could bring an egg salad onto an airplane, no problem. I could start the wave at a funeral, no hesitation. Dress like a hipster, whatever. So that's my power. And my superhero name is Irony Man.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with, I have the ability to write 112 characters on Twitter, and my name is the super awesome and excellent... You gotta wait for that one.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it took a second, because Skype sometimes cuts out. And Thomas, you got a superhero power for us?
Well, I've got egg all over my face because mine was kind of similar to Heath's, but I literally wrote this without knowing any of yours. If I could have any power, it would probably be to have absolutely no embarrassment of just shitting as loudly as I want in a public restroom. I think that's my superpower. Just going in, knowing there's someone at the urinal, just some poor citizen, and just going, I don't care. I don't know that guy. He doesn't know me.
So,
I can't
Thomas,
do it though.
you want to be me, basically.
Yeah, I also wrote in my notes, I think these superheroes already exist and walk among, or maybe shit among us, but I don't know.
All right, now I have to know, man. Are we going to somehow be able to... I know you got important, like, first anniversaries and stuff, but those come and go. I mean, David A.R. White action trilogies are once in a lifetime. Are we going to be able to talk you into doing a third one of these with us?
I would love to, and maybe I will get to watch it with Eli. I don't know, but I might get to watch it with you. What do you think?
Yeah, going
Coming
to
to my
NYC
hood.
and watching Revelation Road for your anniversary.
And we're going to do the popcorn trick with the penis in the pop. Yeah.
That's a great way to ensure that you get more first anniversaries. So, okay, well then I guess you can stick around for this part too if you don't mind. That does do it, I guess, for our review of Revelation Road 2, Sea of Glass and Fire, but it doesn't do it for the episode yet because we still need to see if this trilogy has an Act 2 in it somewhere. So Eli, tell us what's on deck.
Revelation. I'm so excited. I don't think that's the name of it. Revelation Road 3, The Black Rider. Now, I have purposefully not talked about this movie to Noah or Heath. I very casually mentioned us doing this trilogy a few times because I don't want to be like, but if you get to the third movie, but here's all I'm going to say, okay? It goes full Mad Max. Kevin Sorbo is in a full fur coat and plays a gay Fight Club post-apocalyptic drug lord. It's nonsense. I cannot wait. And I haven't seen this movie for like almost a year, so I cannot wait.
Awesome. Well, I gotta say, if that doesn't get you on board, nothing will. So, Thomas, I can't thank you enough, but I'm still gonna try, but I'm not gonna do it until next week so that, you have reason to come back if you start thinking twice about this. But no, we really do appreciate it. And one last time, if anyone wants to hear a little bit more from you, where should they go?
Thank you. If people want to hear my comedy stylings, find Comedy Shoe Shine, the podcast. It's really fun. But if you'd like some more serious atheism talk, deep into the issues, check out Atheistically Speaking. I'd really appreciate if people like me, check them out.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Very much appreciated. I cannot believe you're going to do all three of these.
Oh,
Holy
dude,
shit.
this is the greatest thing to ever happen to me. This is so fun.
I've never been happier to lose a bet. So with all that to look forward to, we're going to bring episode 35 to a merciful close. Once again, huge thanks to Thomas Smith of Atheistically Speaking, Thomas in the Bible, and the Comedy Shoe Shine podcast, all of which will be linked on the show notes. Also, an even huger thanks to all the Patreon donors that help make the show go. If you'd like to count yourself among their ranks, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/godawful and thereby earn early access to every episode. You can also help us a ton by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes and by sharing the show on all your various social media platforms. And if you enjoyed the show, be sure to check out our sibling shows, The Scathing Atheist and The Skeptocrat, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever else podcasts live. If you have questions, comments, or cinematic suggestions, you can email godawfulmovies@gmail.com. All the music used in this episode was written and performed by Ryan Slotnick of Evil Giraffes on Mars and was used with permission. If you like what you hear more by following links on the show notes to this episode. Thanks again for giving us a chunk of your life this week. For Heath Enwright and Eli Bosnick, I'm Noah Lugeons, promising to work hard to earn another chunk next week. Until then, we'll leave you with the Breakfast Club close.
Goth farmer got promoted to assistant manager at Hot Topic.
The guy who did the stereo mixing for this movie didn't take kindly to my criticism and vowed revenge.
The Boz went on to start a very successful overnight smithing business. Brother.
And we're back for yet more of this insensate... I just wanted to fuck up just to fuck your time up a little bit more there, Thomas. Sorry. Yeah, Eli, I think you've been on a delay for a little bit of a minute there. We need a safe word for when we start feeling like you're on a delay because we just get going. And
my safe word is keep going.
Okay.
I think I'm alone now. Another part of me is always hanging around.
You bring your phone everywhere. Work, school, the movies. Now you can bring it to an Xfinity store for an easy way to switch to Xfinity Mobile, a new kind of network designed to save you money. You can get up to 5 lines of talk and text included with Xfinity Internet at no extra cost, so all you pay for is data. It's never been easier to switch to Xfinity Mobile and keep the phone you love. Click here to see how. Sorry, I gotta take this. Restrictions apply. Limited to select mobile phones. Requires activation of a new line of Xfinity Mobile. Up to 5 devices per account. New Xfinity Internet customers limited to up to 2 lines pending activation of Internet service.